Should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy. According to the Longman Dictionary of Contemporary English, oil exploration encompasses the processes and methods involved in locating potential sites for oil drilling and extractions. Renewable energy, according to the same dictionary, is an energy that won't run out. It is natural and self-replenishing and usually have a zero or low carbon footprint. But before I proceed, it is indeed wise and appropriate to give honor to whom honor is due. And with this, I say, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shezi Chinazamata, a proud student of Government Secondary School Karshi, Abuja, standing before you today to oppose the motion which states Nigeria should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy. Firstly, Nigeria stopping oil exploration and focusing on renewable energy is one step that will lead to economic downturn, as Nigeria tends to invest on renewable energy, which may not be an easy task for a developing country like ours. Do you know that if solar power, in one example of renewable energy, is focused in Nigeria, it has a lot of use to do with? This includes weather dependent, which may be erratic or irregular, undergoes sophisticated manufacturing processes, has an initial high capital cost, and most importantly, batteries have negative environmental impact, especially during manufacture and disposal. So you see, whether it has low carbon footprint or not, one thing is for sure, it is also harmful. Secondly, oil exploration and production helps the government to fund public services and infrastructures. Not only that, there are vital byproducts gotten from it, which includes petroleum gel, adversely used for the smoothness of the body, coal tar, used for the tying of wood, fossil fuel, and lots more. Thirdly, oil exploration and production plays a significant role in the life of an individual. On the positive side, it leads to economic opportunities, particularly in areas where oils are discovered, leading to an overall economic growth of the nation. There will be a large compensation fees given to these citizens, leading to the betterment of their family, oneself, and resident opportunities. In addition, oil exploration can bring about high value to Nigeria currency. Dear audience, you agree with me when I say Nigeria money does not have value, but the fact is that this can change drastically if oil exploration should be ignited more, notwithstanding the fact that Nigeria produces 1.8 million barrels of oil per day and sold to overseas countries. If this country should trade with our currency, I not only think, but I believe that Nigeria money can have value through oil exploration. Lastly, let us consider employment. The oil sectors provide direct and indirect job opportunities to the graduate and undergraduate citizens of Nigeria, from the engineers to transporters to marketers and finally to food sellers at oil sites. This has resulted to the massive downfall of unemployment rate in Nigeria. My opponents may opine that what is the level of affordability of oils in Nigeria? But I stand today to assert what is also the level of renewable energy. Yes, it's true. Oils are now being sold at the high rate in Nigeria. But the question is, can't it be stopped? Of course it can. It can be reduced if the government of Nigeria are willing and ready to tackle the problem facing Nigeria economy, notwithstanding the fact that Nigeria owes 144.67 trillion naira at the end of 2024 with no hope of paying soon. If Nigeria, a developing country, should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy, tell me, where will the capital come from? Prevention is better than cure. In conclusion, oil exploration has proven to be the major driver of Nigeria economy. It is crucial to address these challenges and ensure that the benefit of oil sectors are shared equitably and sustainably. Instead of stopping oil exploration, why not make it more advanced? Food for thought. Stop oil exploration, expose the country to an economic hardship, which will eventually lead to economic suicide. Thanks.
This is the already established protocol. My name is Etuba Fozia Ibrahim, a student of Government Secondary School Karshi, Abuja, standing before you here today to oppose the motion that states Nigeria should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy. While the idea sounds progressive, it is unrealistic and dangerous for Nigeria's current economic and developmental state, and here is why. Firstly, oil exports are a significant source of revenue for Nigeria's government, funding public services and infrastructure projects. Oil remains the backbone of Nigeria's economy. It contributes over 80% of our export earnings and a large portion of government revenue. Abruptly halting exploration would cripple our economy, lead to mass unemployment and social unrest. With Nigeria's oil reserves valued at over $100 billion, can the country afford to abandon this resource? Secondly, Nigeria's energy demands are high, and oil is currently the primary source of energy. Stopping oil exploration could lead to energy shortages, impacting the country's economic and social development. Despite the push for renewable energy, global demand for oil is still high, and Nigeria's oil exports are likely to remain competitive. The energy transition to renewables in Nigeria is a journey, not a jump. Nigeria faces chronic electricity shortages, and renewables, while promising, are not yet able to meet our national energy demand. We must develop a strong and stable energy mix and not throw away what currently works. Thirdly, oil is a reliable source of energy, whereas the renewable sources of energy like wind and solar are intermittent. Nigeria's energy infrastructure is currently designed to support oil exploration and production. Also, oil-producing regions in Nigeria have economies that are heavily dependent on the oil industry. Even the global economy still depends on oil, and as long as that demand exists, Nigeria should benefit. Stopping oil exploration will not end global fossil fuel use, it will just shift the opportunity to other nations. If with all these benefits, my opponent still thinks we can venture into renewable energy, then it will be interesting to know that Nigeria lacks the infrastructures to support large-scale renewable energy projects. The country will need to invest in new infrastructures, including solar panels, wind turbines, and energy storage facilities. These large-scale renewable energy projects can lead to land use conflict and habitat destruction. Renewable energy technology is expensive and requires skilled labor, and Nigeria currently lacks the local manufacturing base and technical capacity to fully transition without massive external support. My opponents may argue that the carbon emission from oil exploration and production has brought about climate changes. This is a true fact, but technological advancements in the oil industry can reduce the environmental effects of oil exploration and production and also mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions from oil production, making it both environmentally friendly and a sustainable option. Having said all this, the best practice is not to stop oil exploration, but to use its profits wisely. Conclusively, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, I believe you have sought to agree with me on the fact that stopping oil exploration and venturing into renewable energy is not the best option for Nigeria.
With due adherence to protocol, I am Augustine Oche Clement, a student of Government Secondary School Karshi, opposing the motion that Nigeria should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy. Oil is not just a resource to Nigeria, it is the lifeline of our economy. Stopping oil exploration will be like cutting off the branch on which we sit on. With this in mind, let us now explore clear reasons why Nigeria should continue oil exploration. First and foremost, let us be realistic. Oil exploration is going to the pillars of Nigeria's economy. According to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, oil and gas account for over 85% of Nigeria's export earnings and around 50% of government revenue. Stopping oil exploration abruptly would create a massive economic vacuum which renewable energy cannot fill, at least not yet. Ladies and gentlemen, while renewable energy is a noble goal, Nigeria is not ready to depend on it entirely. We lack the infrastructure, funding, and technical know-how to roll out solar, wind, and hydro energy efficiently across the nation. Most rural communities still don't have stable electricity and depend on petrol and diesel generators. Is it wise to stop oil exploration when it powers our homes, businesses, and hospitals? Furthermore, the opposing side may conclude that oil exploration has brought about disasters like tanker explosion, which has caused the tragic loss of lives. My purpose here is to reset their mindset on the causes, which are the poor safety standard, weak enforcement of regulations, and illegal activities. These are cracks in the system, human and management failures, not a reason to burn down the house just to kill a rat by stopping oil exploration. Rather, we should adopt a balanced approach, continue oil exploration while gradually investing in renewable technologies for the future. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, if a man throws away his only bread because he hopes for a cake tomorrow, he will starve today. Therefore, Nigeria must not throw away her only current lifeline in pursuit of a future that we are not yet ready for. We should strengthen what we have while prepared for what we hope for. Thank you.
With respect to the already existing protocols, my name is Chiezi Nazamata. My team and I have laid bare truth. Oil isn't just a resource, it's the very foundation of Nigeria's economy. My opponent proposed a halt to oil exploration, but this is a very dangerous fantasy disconnected with the immediate needs of over 200 million Nigerians. To suddenly stop oil exploration isn't a transition, it's an economic catastrophe. It means mass unemployment, a crippled budget, and a national instability. Yes, we advocate for a new transition to renewables, one that doesn't sacrifice our present for an uncertain future. Abandoning oil now will be self-sabotage, pushing millions of Nigerians into hunger and hardship. What Nigeria needs is a pragmatic path forward, leveraging our strength to build a sustainable tomorrow. We must be realistic, we must be responsible, and we must be ready to secure our presence for a great future, which can only be done with oil exploration. Thank you.
Good day, Mr. Chairman, honorable judges, macro time people, co-debaters, and esteemed audience. As we stand at the crossroads of development and sustainability, I ask, should Nigeria stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy? The answer, I firmly believe, is yes. For too long, our nation has been held hostage by the volatile nature of the oil industry, suffering the environmental and social costs of extraction without reaping the long-term benefits. But today, I stand before you to argue that it's time for Nigeria to break free from the shackles of fossil fuels and harness the power of renewable energy. My name is Matthew Divine Favor, student of Government Secondary School, Lugbe, Abuja, and I'm greatly honored to be speaking first on behalf of our school. My colleagues and I will be exploring the intricacies of this topic from different angles and our viewpoints. Here are the following points of mine. Firstly, diversification. Transitioning to renewable energy can help diversify Nigeria's economy and reduce dependence on oil. Secondly, energy access. Renewable energy can provide energy access to all rich communities and promote economic development. Furthermore, job creation. The renewable energy industry can create new job opportunities in manufacturing, installation, and maintenance. One of the key benefits of transitioning to renewable energy in Nigeria is the potential for job creation. According to the Renewable Energy Agency, the renewable energy sector could support up to 24 million jobs globally by 2030. In Nigeria, we can tap into this potential by investing in solar and wind energy, creating new opportunities for our citizens. Imagine being stuck in a Lagos traffic jam, inching along the highway as the sun beats down relentlessly. The frustration, the wasted time. It's a scenario all too familiar to Nigerians. But what if I told you that our reliance on oil is not just clogging our roads, but also our economy and environment? So let us determine the best course of action for our great nation. Some might argue that transitioning to renewable energy will be too costly for Nigeria, given the significant investment required in infrastructure. However, I've counted that the long-term benefits of transitioning to renewable energy far outweigh the short-term costs. For example, a study by the Renewable Laboratory found that a widespread adoption of renewable energy sources like solar and wind could save the economy up to $113 billion annually by 2050. Some might also argue that wouldn't the intermittency of renewable energy sources like solar and wind be a challenge for rural communities that require reliable energy access? In response, I'd like to point out that while intermittency is a challenge, advances in solar-powered battery systems can help mitigate this issue. For example, solar-powered battery systems can provide reliable energy access even during periods of low sunlight. So, as we consider the future of energy in Nigeria, let's ask ourselves, will future generations judge us for prioritizing fossil fuels over their future? The truth is, we're not just choosing between energy sources, we're choosing between a sustainable future and a catastrophic one. So let's make the right choice. In conclusion, imagine Nigeria as a shining star, powered by 100% renewable energy. Abandoning oil exploration for renewable energy is like upgrading to a Tesla. One needs oil spills and air pollution when you can have clean energy. It's like choosing between a clunky old phone and a new smartphone. Which one would you pick? It's a future that's not just possible, but inevitable. And if we don't make it happen, we'll be like the dinosaurs, extinct. The clock is ticking and the world is watching. Let's make Nigeria a beacon of hope for a renewable future. Thank you.
Good day, honorable judges, agri thank you, co-debaters, and my worthy audience. Today, we discuss a truth too dangerous to ignore. Nigeria's dependence on oil is ticking time bomb. Our nation is at the edge of a new era. Yet, we cling to an industry, a toxic poison that destroys our land, cripples our economy, and blinds us to progress. Oil has reached for decades, but its time is up. Across the world, countries are embracing renewable energy, securing a new future while we remain stuck in the past. Will Nigeria continue to gamble with oil production and economic stability, or will we rise, innovate, and lead Africa into a cleaner weather tomorrow? The answer is clear. We must stop oil exploration and harness power of renewable energy before it is too late. I go by the name David Victory, and I will present an argument for the proposition. Rising today, I stand to challenge the status quo and to make a case for a bold and necessary change in our economic system. We must determine the future of Nigeria, whether we should continue building the earth for oil or embrace the boundless potential of renewable energy. Oil is not our destiny. Furthermore, let's take a look at real-life examples and points on this topic. 1. The global shift and economic diversification. Oil is a dying industry. According to the International Energy Agency, global investment in renewables have surpassed fossil fuel investment for the first time in history. Countries like Norway and Saudi Arabia, nations rich in oil, are moving towards clean energy. Now, would you openly claim or argue that oil is Nigeria's economic backbone? So tell me, what happens if that backbone breaks? We cannot wait until the last barrel jars of voting alternatives. 2. Environmental devastation and health impact. The Nigeria's Niger Delta is a disaster zone. Oil spills have torn rivers into graveyards, and gas flaring has poisoned the air we breathe. According to the Amnesty International, oil pollution in Niger Delta has led to about 30 million people suffering from contaminated water and land. Ogoni land, a once thriving region, is now a wasteland because of oil pollution. Remember, if we destroy nature, nature will destroy us. My audio opponents may claim that oil generates revenue for Nigeria. But tell me, at what cost? Cancer, respiratory disease, dead farmlands, the price is too high. To add to that, renewable energy is Nigeria's future. The sun and the winds are gifts of nature. Why should we ignore them? Nigeria has abundant solar and wind. According to the Energy Commission of Nigeria, solar energy alone can provide over 600,000 megawatts enough to power every home and industry. Germany, a country less solar than Nigeria, generates about 50% of its energy from renewables. Morocco also invested in solar power and now has the world's largest solar farm, providing clean air for millions. If Morocco can do it, why not Nigeria? Moreover, some may still argue that oil generates revenue for Nigeria or is an economic savior. But tell me, how is this saving us when over 40% of Nigerians still live in poverty? The reality is that oil money benefits only a few while the masses suffer. In conclusion, fellow Nigerians, we stand at a crossroad. One path leads to clean air, prosperity, and sustainable energy. The other path leads to pollution, economic instability, and a bleak future. Which path will we choose? The past are written with oil spills and corruption. The future is ours to rise to the brink of innovation and green energy. Oil is not our destiny. Renewable energy is our salvation. Let us embrace the power of the wind and the sun. Nigeria must act now, not tomorrow, not next year, now. And with this, I rest my case. Thank you.
My name is Okoye Excellence Favor from Government Secondary School, Lugbe, Abuja. From what my first speakers have said, you all believe that the potential benefit of renewable energy far outweighs that of oil exploration. And we will not leave you without letting you know what oil exploration and renewable energy mean. Oil exploration is the process of assessing and processing potential oil and gas reserves through various geological and geophysical surveys and drilling exploratory wells. While renewable energy, an energy derived from natural resources that are replenished at a higher rate than they are consumed. Our great nation is at the coast of meeting our energy demands, while mitigating the impacts of climate change. I firmly believe that transitioning into renewable energy is not only a moral imperative, but also an economic necessity for Nigeria's sustainable development. As we all know, the world is shifting towards renewable energy, and Nigeria must not be left behind. Countries like Germany and Denmark have made significant progress in transitioning into renewable energy, and we must learn from their experiences. As the Nigerian Minister of Power, Salimama, stated, we are committed to increasing the share of renewable energy in our mix. In fact, a study by University of Nigeria found out that Nigeria could meet 70% of its energy needs through solar power alone. In addition, we must have heard on 21st of April when the media spokesman of Honorable President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the installation of a 10 billion naira solar project going on at Asoro in order to power up the villa because of the insufficiency of light. In Nigeria today, you can't pass up to 3 to 5 houses without seeing solar panels on top of their roofs. So why should Nigeria choose to prioritize its citizens when oil exploration has linked to human rights abuses and human health problems? In summation, I urge you to support the motion that Nigeria should stop oil exploration and focus on renewable energy, because the great benefits are clear. As the great Nigerian writer Wole Soyinka said, the future belongs to those who see great opportunities before they become obvious. So let us seize this great opportunity for Nigeria, powered by renewable energy. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from both sides of this debate, but the facts remain clear. I want you to join me on the journey of discovery and critical thinking. The opposing side believe that transitioning to renewable energy is like building a castle in the air. But I would like to ask these questions. Is there any day that you wake up in Nigeria without daylight? Is there any day that you don't see the flowers, the trees, and other plants moving? What about our sunshine, especially in the northern part of the country? The dams, the water from the seas, rivers, and so on. All these natural resources are abound in our country. All we need to do is to harness them effectively and see our country turn into a developed nation. Are we going to continue to prioritize short-term gains from oil exploration or invest in a sustainable future for generations to come? Let us seize this opportunity to create a better tomorrow for ourselves and future generations. So I ask you, will you fear the future or will you fund it? Will you cling to the past or will you rise with progress? Because renewable energy can pave the way for a sustainable future. Thank you.